So what we're building essentially is a company called Max, but the whole concept is on-demand delivery, crowdsourced on-demand delivery for retailers and merchants in urban Africa. What we're hoping to achieve essentially is to create an infrastructure that allows merchants to be able to join the whole e-commerce revolution that's going on across the world. So we've seen Amazon in the US, you've seen Amazon in Europe as well, and other e-commerce platforms in Europe. You've seen that trend move to Asia and Latin America, and then now it's moving to Africa. But essentially, small merchants today across Africa, there's over 40 million of them who are at risk if they do not receive the resources and the support they need to plug into the new e-commerce trend. So what we're doing essentially is to create hyperlocal fulfillment infrastructure or logistics infrastructure that allows merchants to be able to deliver products to their consumers without any bottlenecks. Growing up in Nigeria, seeing how things went bad over a couple of decades, terrible leadership, dictatorships, and also seeing how the economy became essentially a mono economy that's reliant only on foreign exchange earnings from crude oil. For me, all of that was just bad news, and I began to think about, okay, what can I do differently to help Nigeria as a country grow, and hopefully the whole continent unlock its potential. And then I looked at a couple of sectors, and the one that was most attractive to me was retail, for the simple reason that it's right now the biggest, has the biggest proportion of GDP for Nigeria and most African countries, and also because it has a huge amount of people who are involved. So in Nigeria, for example, 30 million people are involved in retail out of 180 million people. That's a pretty huge percentage. So that for me, that wasn't inspired the project at the very beginning, but when I also now saw the opportunity to present this on a platform like this, that made a lot of sense to me that, okay, this is something I really care about. This is a great platform to make a lot of noise about it and hopefully get some more support and see how this idea could also be replicated in other emerging markets or developing countries that are in need of different, less capital intensive approaches to big problems. Traditionally, a lot of people first talk about money, but for us, money really hasn't been a big challenge, not because we have a lot of money, but because there's other problems as well. Some of those problems are things around dealing with local authorities, for example. So far, because of the sort of sector we've chosen and the approach that we've taken, we haven't had to deal with law enforcement or regulation. Hopefully they don't come after us, but we think we're pretty good. We have a lot of evidence to show the impact we're having on, for example, the people who work on our network and the merchants that we serve. But regulation definitely is a concern. The second concern has also been about finding local talent. Now, what I mean by that is the kind of platform we're building technology platform we're building is not the frameworks and the technology components are not really being used a lot in developing countries right now. Permit me to go a little technical. So in Nigeria, for example, most developers use what you call the LAMP architecture, which is pretty old, PHP, MySQL type stuff, which is not optimized for cloud-based applications. But in the US, you have on-demand platforms like Uber, Lyft, and the rest of them, which are all built on what you call the mean architecture, MongoDB, Express, Angular, Node.js, which are optimized for cloud platforms. So finding that kind of talent locally has been a huge challenge. So essentially, we've been able to build the platform because my team is all US educated Africans. But to scale that, and increase the development team has been quite a challenge. So what we're trying to do now is to build our own talent internally. So we bring on board developers who are experienced in the old LAMP architecture and then train them on the main stack, and hopefully we can scale our platform. It's really exciting seeing all the ideas that are being executed in different parts of the world, from giving access to small businesses and startups in Asia, in India, for example, to giving access to resources like mentorship and how to start your business and how to scale your business and things like that, to ideas on how to unlock human potential in places like the Philippines. For me, it's a reinforcement that, okay, people really are executing ideas on the ground. We're moving beyond just concepts and theories, I have my dad is a statistician. Did some work for development agencies, and he came up with all sorts of reports. I watched him do that over many decades, but each time I would ask him, "Hey, Dad, the more reports you churn out, the worse Nigeria's economy gets. The worse Nigeria's economy gets. Your reports are not making any impact." And he would laugh. But what I'm excited about now is that we're moving just beyond like reports and publications and this to people actually executing ideas on the ground and taking the risk. I mean, some of those ideas may not ultimately succeed, but I mean, you don't win. You win if you don't take any shots. You don't win any. So it's really exciting and reinforcing for me personally, from a point of view of seeing other people do exciting stuff in other parts of the world. That keeps me going.